Hello there, Friday the 24th of February 2012. Chris Reardon with today's United Kingdom talk. A very, very nearly ripped off Chris Reardon, boys and girls. Oh yes. Just before I came up to do the show today, I thought I'll have a little cycle. I'm not back swimming yet, not after my little flu episode last week. I thought I'd get back into things. You know, I don't want to jump into things because you can get ill straight away. Don't want to relapse, dear. Don't want to relapse. I shan't be able to go to work again if that happens. So I haven't been going swimming yet. I've been sort of gradually getting back into things. And today I did the cycle ride to the swimming pool. Now, when I say it's a cycle ride, you know, it's not like a 5-minute job. It's about 25 minutes from Bracknell to Wokingham, where my swimming pool, where the Virgin Active swimming pool is that I go to. So I did that little journey today, popping in the bank at the other end of the halfway point of the journey, you know. So cycle from my house to Wokingham, stop, get off the bike, go into the bank. And I'm about to put my money in. First hurdle of the day, machine out of order. So nice little queue of people waiting to be served at the tills. I mean, well, I don't know why they keep trying to replace people with machines, because they always break down eventually, don't they? You know, and I don't understand my bank, really. They've got 2 machines in the branch, right? And it's actually the same in the Bracknell branch as well. They've got 2 machines in there, only one of which you can put money in. There is one outside as well, you know, sort of outside in a hole in the wall branch. You can put money in there. I don't like to do that, you know, get money out in public, put it in an envelope and shove it in a machine. I like to go in the branch to do that. And when it's out of order, there is no other machine. Do you see what I mean? I just don't understand why they've only got 1 machine in these branches that takes money. When it's out of order, you have to queue up with all the other poor bods and that. And I quite like the people in my bank, but it does annoy me. Almost sort of out of every 5 times you go to the counter, out of that, 2 or 3 times after you've finished your transactions, they will try and sell you something. Oh, by the way, Mr. Reardon, who have you got your mortgage with? Oh, by the way, Mr. Reardon, can I ask who you've got a credit card with? Oh, by the way, Mr. Reardon, have you sorted out your household? And I'm thinking, I don't need all this. If I wanted that, I would have bloody well asked. You know, stop holding up the queue, trying to sell other bits and pieces. I want to go in, give you my money and get out again as quickly as possible. That's why I try to go to a machine usually, because it doesn't start answering back all the time. Asking me, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're very, very pleasant about it all. It just gets on your nerves when you get there and you get your credit card. By the way, Mr. Reardon, can I ask you, have you sorted out your car insurance this year? No, I haven't, and I don't want yours. Can I ask why that is? And then they carry on. They don't shut up. There's one thing I can't stand, boys and girls. It's people that go on and on relentlessly about nothing. It does get on my nerves. It really does. And they keep doing that when you get to the counter in my bank. Please stop trying to sell me stuff. I'm there to make a transaction. I don't want to be out as rapidly as possible. I know you're very nice in there and you're all smiles and all that. But even when you say no, then they carry on. They carry on giving you all the wonderful points they have about their latest credit card or something like that. Shut up! We're not interested, dear. So anyway, that's the first part of the story. So I've come out of there and I've got my bike and I'm looking at the clock. It's about 12:30 now. And I thought, oh, well, I'll go home and have dinner. I thought, oh. And then suddenly an idea lit in my brain. Now at this point, if I was any good at editing, a little light bulb would appear on my head and light up, you know, like one of those idea light bulbs, you know what I mean? But I'm not any good at editing, so that's not going to happen. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I fancy a cheese and onion pasty today. because there's a little pasty shop round the corner. There's 2 pasty shops in Wokingham. There's a Greg's the Baker. Okay, nothing wrong with their pasties. Very competitively priced. And they're okay, nothing wrong with them at all. There's another pasty shop where the pasties are of, shall we say, much nicer, much higher quality. Like I say, nothing wrong with the Greg's one, don't get me wrong. I quite happily have a Greg's one, but given the choice, I thought I'd go to the other one because, you know, a little bit more stuffed in the pasty. So I've gone round the corner. I can't even remember them. I'm gonna have to tell you the name of this shop. Let me see if I can find that. What will I type into Google for this? Pasty shops in Wokingham. 1 second now. Do you like a pasty? Pasty shop, Wokingham. Let me see. Pasty shop, oh, it's got Greg's. Oh, there it is. The West. Is this the one here? Just a minute now. Just a minute now. Where, store locator. Oh, let's type. Is it Wokingham? Is this the? Oh, it is the right. It could be the right one. That's the one, yes. Now, the shop is called the West Cornwall Pasty Company, and it's on the main sort of shopping area in Wokingham. So you go in this little shop, and it's a lovely little place. You know, very clean and nice, and the way it's laid out, and all the little I think they've got a couple of tables at the front. I think you can sit down and eat. I can't remember. But the main part of it is you've got the front bit with the counter and all the lovely pasties lined up. They've got a lovely selection of pasties in there. So the girl's behind the counter, you know, typical pasty girl, you know, she's quite big standing there, but lovely smile on her face, lovely lady. I said, hello, can I have, there was someone in front of me, he got served, and I got to the front of the queue. So I'm standing there with my £5 note, right? And I says, can I have a cheese and onion pasty, please? He said, oh, yes, which one? Just the one in the front there, please. Thank you very much. And he looked all right, just like a normal pasty, not sort of extra large or anything like that. She picked up this pasty and put it in a little bag. And then I spotted the vegetable pasties. And I thought, well, why don't I have these 2 pasties? I can have the vegetable pasty, and then that will be my lunch. Do you see what I mean? And so she picks up this vegetable pasty, puts it in the bag, and says, do you want me to mark the bag? She says to me. I said, no, that's all right. She says, oh. She said, are you going to take a bite of each one? I said, that's right. I said, mix it up as it goes down the stomach. And then I thought to myself, I wonder if I've got time. I've got enough here for a cup of tea as well. I thought it'd be about £2 each, you know. Might get a cup of tea for £1 if I'm lucky. So I said, how much is that so far, love? So I got me her. She says, £6. I said, sorry? She said, £6. I said, £6 for 2 pasties? I said, no, forget it. I said, that's too much. I said, I'm not paying that. And I walked out. I'm sorry, £3 for a pasty? You have got to be having a laugh. The West Cornwall Pasty Company. As I say, they are nicer, okay? Admittedly, they are nicer than the ones at Greg's. The staff are very nice. The shop looks very nice. Nothing wrong with any of it. But £3 for 1 pasty? I don't think so. Another customer gone. Another customer lost. And, you know, I just think that I thought, are you taking the piss? You must be taking the piss trying to charge me £3 for 1 pasty, £6 for 2 pasties. Would you pay that? Seriously, would you pay that for a pasty? I can go, if I want to, down to the TOWIE carvery. And there's a few dotted around here. You know, you've got nothing within walking distance, I'm afraid. You've got to jump in a car. But nevertheless, I could go to a TOWIE carvery and have a full roast dinner and as much vegetables and potatoes as I can eat. You just keep going back if you want to, for £5.25. I'm not going to pay £6 for 2 bloody pasties, am I? You're taking the piss. Would you pay £6 for 2 pasties? So that's about, I don't know, $6, $7, $9. Would you pay? Because apparently the exchange rate. Well, I always keep an. I don't know if you do. Do you keep an eye on the exchange rates of different countries? I always have a look, and it looks like at the moment the dollar to pound is about $1.51, isn't it? So we're getting $1, sort of $1.50 to the pound at the moment. So that's come nicely back up again. So I reckon about $9. Would you pay $9 for 2 pasties? Do let me know. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And it's a great shame, really, because as I say, the shop was nice, the staff were nice, and it's clean, it's nice in there, but I ain't paying £3 for one bloody pasty. You're taking the piss, and that's it. What do you think? Let us know. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. It's a beautiful day out there. It really is. It's like, how can I explain it? Here we are. We are in winter. This is not spring. Okay, we are not in spring yet. We are still in the grips of winter, and yet it's got to be 65, 66 degrees outside today. It is like a very early summer morning. It's beautiful, and it was yesterday on Thursday. It is absolutely beautiful out there. I don't know why. I should have taken my equipment outside and recorded a show in the garden. You know I like to record shows in the garden in the summer, so I don't know where all this nice weather has come from at the moment. I've also had to complain about something else today, boys and girls. Oh yes, you have to complain, dear. You have to complain, otherwise things don't get done. They don't. This newspaper, the Bracknell Forest Standard. Yes. So I got back from my cycle into and from Wokingham. Incidentally, when I got back, I simply made a dinner instead of having those lovely pasties, which admittedly looked wonderful. Not £3 each, they don't look wonderful. And I came back here and I done myself a full dinner, you know, a couple of corn burger type things, some potatoes, vegetables, gravy, and shouldn't really tell you this, a little cream egg for pudding. Oh, I was very naughty the other day. I bought a box of 6 cream eggs in Sainsbury's, and they worked out to only about, I think they were less than £2 actually, something like that for 6 cream eggs, which isn't bad at all. I had one of those for pudding. Anyway, when I got back to my front door, I noticed that the Bracknell Forest Standard had been delivered. Not into my letterbox, on the carpet at the front of the door. Not only that, but they clearly hadn't bothered because they delivered 2 Bracknell Forest Standards. And I looked at my neighbour's house, and his paper too, it wasn't actually even on the little carpet in front of his door. It was on the pathway in front of his house. And I thought, someone's not doing their job properly. And you can see, you know, I mean, because it all costs money, doesn't it? Now, why have I been delivered 2 Bracknell Forest Standards, and why has it not been delivered properly? Instead, chucked on the path outside. So I'm on the phone, dear. I'm sorry, I'm on the phone complaining to the delivery department of the Bracknell Forest Standard. Fortunately, an 0800 number, so it didn't cost me anything. Thank God for that. And I complained bitterly on that phone, dear. Bitterly, bitterly. How dare they? I will not have papers just chucked all over the pavement in front of my accommodation of houses. It's a liberty, that's what it is, dear, a liberty. Anyway, so that's that. I've complained about that this morning. No news on the car at the moment. We're still waiting. They've now had the car over 2 weeks. There's a diesel leak somewhere. They can't find it. I mean, I don't know much about cars. How many places can there be that the diesel can be leaking from? And it's neat diesel, you know, out of the tank before it's been combusted. It's not fumes. It's the smell of neat diesel. Well, I know that because there was a little puddle in my garage just before I took the car in. So no news on that at the moment. Just had my water bill. Bloody hell, £396 for a year's worth of water. God's sake, it just goes up and up, doesn't it? And apparently a lot of that is due to the enormous amount they've been investing in the infrastructure. No mention, of course, of the profits that they have to pay to the shareholders, this, that and the other. I'm of a great feeling, regular viewers will know I was and still am a great fan of Margaret Thatcher, but there are certain things she did that I totally don't agree with. Privatising the water board, the electric, the gas and the railways. They are the things that in particular I think should never have been privatised. They should be run for the people, not for profit, those particular things. £396 for a year's worth of water is quite expensive. I've got lots of people telling me that I need to have a water meter installed, and being as I live on my own, I could well see that bill half. If I was to have a water meter put in, I'm a bit you know, because I like to water the garden in the summer and that sort of thing. And I think, oh, you know, is it going to cost me more if I have one installed? It says a water meter measures the water that your household uses. Call us for more information, and I think it's free of charge. It's an 0333 number. Is that a free number? 0333? I don't know. Anyway, so there's the water bill coming in. And one more bit of news. I'm afraid I dipped in once again to The Only Way Is Essex. Oh yes, boys and girls, it's that programme where they can't act. Not many of them have personalities. Most of them are as ugly as sin. However, there were some little gems in this week. Chloe, now she's the one that looks like she's been in a car crash, is actually seems to be not as thick as the others. She actually knew what the significance of Pancake Day was, and also knew what Lent was. And she said, I mean, not exactly she knew, but she had an idea. She said, oh, it's something to do with the Catholics, isn't it? They give up something for Lent. She actually knew what it was. So I'm impressed, Chloe. I'm impressed. Not only that, for the first time on the show, we saw her delightful little girl in a supermarket with her. You know, and this little girl had gone for doing the shopping with her mum, Chloe, in the supermarket, and it was absolutely delightful to see something like that. You know, a little bit more reality and less falseness. That's what we like. So really nice to see that little girl in there. There's another bloody puff appeared in it, I'm afraid. Bobby, the hairdresser. Oh, I'm opening a hairdressing academy up the road. Did you see him? Oh, that's all we need, another puff on there. We've just got rid of the other one. We want to see real men on there, dear. Real men, not these namby-pandy things walking around with their arms outstretched like that. And, oh, hello, dear. We want to see real men on there. Real men like Rikki. Oh, yes. At last, someone on The Only Way Is Essex that I quite like the look of. Rikki. We are liking Rikki very, very much, especially when we got a little preview of his flesh, didn't we? When he changed into his boxer shorts the other day, or whatever it was that he was wearing, when he went out on a date with someone else. We do like Rikki, even though his teeth are rather white. Yes, I think absolutely everyone on that programme on The Only Way Is Essex has had whitened teeth. And we like Rikki. And Rikki, you can come round to my house any day you want. There's no use going out there. He was sitting there with that girl having a drink. Rikki, come round here. You can have a drink. You can have a full dinner and a full body massage as well. All totally free of charge. Rikki, there is my offer to you. Okay, and what else was in that this week? There was three of them there. There was a fatty boy Arj. Did you see him last week? Oh my God! When he took his, they all stripped off. It was either last week or the week before. There was him, Mario, someone's dad. What's his name? That he's not in it anymore. I can't think. Someone's dad, and I think Joey Essex, and they all took all their clothes off, left the boxer shop and ran into the pool, and Arj ran in there. Oh my God, you've never seen... I thought I was a bit overweight, and then I saw him, and all this flab is going up and down as he's running into the sea. But actually, Arj, I think Arj is all right. I do think he's all right. He's absolutely got a heart of gold, I think, don't you? Anyway, there was the three of them sitting in someone's living room. I don't know who it was. It was Arj, and there was Joey Essex, you know, the one thick as a plank, Joey Essex. The one who we're not quite sure. He plays the part of a straight boy, but he is gayer than anyone else on that programme. He is absolutely so puffy-like, it's unbelievable. It really is. So there's him. And there's Joey's best friend, I can't think of his name right now, who I have to say is not an oil painting, okay, Joey Essex's best friend, but he's just a nice person. You know he's a nice person and he's a bit of a naughty boy and you can see him getting into trouble, but underneath it all, he comes across as a really nice person. So there we are. That's my thoughts on The Only Way Is Essex. And nice to see, and someone else's nan in there. Is it Nanny Brighton or something like that? So there's 2 Nans in there now. So there's some more characters coming in there. What we want to do is get rid of all these plastic falseness that's in there, in the form of a lot of the girls and the boys as well. Don't get me wrong here. Don't get me wrong there. Get rid of some of them and bring in more, shall we say, normalish characters. Yes, we absolutely do. And especially, we need to see entire shows devoted to looking at the new character, Rikki. Please, Rikki, Rikki, Rikki. We need to see more of Rikki. We need to see him walking around possibly in Speedos or with a little towel around his waist, the sort of thing that you do in a little club I go to called Chariots. Okay? Anything like that, we need to see more of Rikki. What do you think of Rikki, girls? Come on, let us know. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Okie doke, it's email time. Once again, apologies that you've had so long to wait for your emails because I had flu and we had no shows for over nearly 2 weeks, wasn't it? Shaun writes, when we had the snow here, I went for a walk in the show at the snow, and he wrote, the 2-hour walk in the snow that you had must have been very relaxing. I wouldn't have wanted to bike in the snow that we had. Yes, walking in the snow, with the right footwear, mind, is very relaxing. If you're going to go for a walk in the snow, Shaun, you've got to have waterproof boots on. Don't try and do it in trainers. Number 1, you will slip all over the place, and number 2, you will have soaking wet feet, and there's nothing worse than being away from your home and having soaking wet feet in trainers. It is just awful. Awful, and then you get frostbite on your toes and everything. He said, can we please have a sneaky peek inside that very rude birthday card? No, you can't. Is it here? No, or is this it here? No, this is my lovely card from the wonderful Kath there. No, it's downstairs, and you're not having a sneak peek inside that rude birthday card. I could not possibly subject my listeners and viewers to such rudeness. This is a family programme, dear. Shaun says you must learn to check your spelling and grammar. India doesn't wanny any money more anyway. Do you mind? I don't always have time to check my spelling and grammar. As you're so bloody interested in it, Shaun, perhaps you'd like to go through all my shows now and correct my spelling and grammar when you've got 5 minutes, and then email, and then I can correct it all. If you've got the time to do that, great. I haven't. He says, another way to get more mobile discos is Yellow Pages and Thompson's Local. I've had a few from them, yes. I did put an advert in the local paper, got nothing at all from that. It was a bit of a waste of money. £95 that was as well. He says, I hope your CB stuff will not be delivered by snail mail. It will take forever or will end up damaged. If the snow hangs around for a few more days or another week, it will be delivered later when it's cleared up. Now, I've got all my CB stuff. It's all set up. And did I do some photos today? I keep meaning to take some photos of my stuff, and I'll put them on the show when I've done those, okay? Shaun says, I think you should work for the Samaritans. I mean, the side of suicide from Suicide, dear. Now, listen here, sunshine. Shaun, if you're going to complain about my grammar and spelling, you do not spell suicide S-E-W-E-R-S-I-D-E. There you are. Now, I've got to tell you, if you hadn't complained about my spelling and grammar, I would never have mentioned that, but you've dug yourself a hole there. Suicide. Honestly, dear, do check your spelling and grammar, Shaun. He says, I think you should work for the Samaritans. I mean the suicide from jumping from bridges, the orange or white phones on most bridges, like the Orwell Bridge, located about 15 minutes walk bike ride from mine, or the Humber Bridge near Kingston. All they do is keep people talking. You'd be good at doing that. Well, I don't know, Shaun, to be honest. You see, it's me who does the talking, isn't it? And the idea is to keep them talking. I don't think they'd get a word in edgeways, to be honest. I reckon if I started talking to people who were about to commit suicide, I think they'd jump sooner, to be absolutely honest with you. Hello to my dear friend Chris Eccles. Hello, Chris. Again, sent this on the 9th of February. Hi, Chris. Just listened to your Wednesday show, and I felt that I needed to send an email to let you know that you have not been deserted. Yes, because we had a little bit of an email desertion time, didn't we, when nothing came in? And I thought everyone had died. It's very worrying. Don't all die at once. I can only go to one funeral at a time, if you don't mind. Everyone still loves you, he says, not in a stalker type way, as per your show. Oh, I've had a stalker. Chris, I've had stalkers before. It's not funny. Really isn't. Just think people's fingers are too cold to type with the weather being as chilly and horrid as it's been. Just wanted to say hi anyway and let you know that listening to your show is a breath of fresh air. I couldn't do that last week. It was all like that. It was awful. Bring back some very happy memories. Memories like the corners of your mind. Misty watercoloured memories of the way we were. Thank you, Chris. Nice to hear from you, darling. And let me see. Finally today, hello to Robert in Iceland, who says, hi, Christy. It's a funny old world to be sure. Here I be up the mountainous regions of the world with the snow melting and looking at my redundant skis. Well, you're not one of those mad skiers, are you? What is all that about, eh? People climbing up mountains and things like that and then going hurtling down at the speed of light with the possibility that you'll go over the wrong part and end up falling over a cliff. Oh, it's not my cup of tea, dear. Not at all. The temperature is, for us, not too bad. 5 degrees centigrade. This is in Iceland. I see the news and you poor devils are up to your bits in snow. Well, we were. Well, what a to-do, I must say. My tip for keeping warm is to move to Iceland. No need to bring your money because we have it here already. All nice and safe. Toodle pip, old boy. Often listen to Tom Harris talking about some guy called Thor and his old man Odin. Thor really won, right, for and not Thor. Poor, not Thor. Ah, well, time to feed the elves. Robert, who hears voices in his head. I'm sorry if that didn't make much sense to you, boys and girls. It didn't make much sense to me either, to be absolutely honest. But we do like to have emails from Robert in Iceland. He's not quite with it, you know. Not quite the full penny, I'm afraid. Anyway, time to go. Thanks so much for watching and listening to the show today. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to join in by email. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk.